Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about equation. Right, so most of us have actually know what equation is. Most of us don't. And then in this video, we are going to be breaking it down, and then we are going to be solving various problems under equation. And we are going to be knowing the various types of equation and how to solve various problems under these types of equation. Right, first of all, what is an equation? Right, in every context in mathematics, we are supposed to actually know what the term actually means, so that in solving that problem, we will know the areas we are diving into. All right, an equation is a mathematical statement or a sentence. You can either say it's a mathematical statement or a mathematical sentence that is telling you that two sides are equal. All right, two sides are equal. It actually shows equality. All right, so what that means is that if I have a problem like this, for example, if I have 2x plus 7 equal to 3, this is a basic example of an equation. All right, you see that from the definition I gave you, I said that equation is a mathematical statement that is telling you that two sides, these two sides, I mean, is this side and this side. It is telling you that this side and this side, being the left hand and the right hand side, is telling you that they are equal. All right, so how do you know if two expressions, both the left hand side and the right hand side, how do you know if they are equal? All right, so we are going to quickly solve this problem in order for us to illustrate the concept. All right, so what that means is that this is 3. Right, before we solve this problem, I just want you to note down some things. Note down some things in equation. All right, so we have some basic properties of equation. There are actually things that makes up an equation. Right, so without those particular things that I'm going to list out, anything you are seeing is not an equation. It must have these properties I'm going to talk about. The first property, an equation must have a variable. All right, a variable we mean here is the unknown. Those are the variables we mean. Like from this context here, our variable here is our variable. That's x, that's the unknown. All right, the next thing is going to have values. Values here we mean this, and this. They are numbers. All right, an equation must have a number. An equation should also have signs. Signs I mean here is either plus, minus, division, and multiplication. All right, so once you see this and it's not yet complete, and then the last one is an equal sign. That's this sign here, which shows equality. All right, to summarize this all, an equation must have an equal to sign. Just know that. All right, so we are going to basically solve this problem here just to illustrate that concept. All right, so we have 2x plus 7 equal to 3. All right, so I want to use this problem here to illustrate the definition I gave for equation. Don't forget I said it's a mathematical statement that shows two sides equality. All right, so this is one side and then this is another side. So we are trying to show the equality there. All right, so if you check very well from these properties I gave you, the variable is there, which is x, which is the unknown. The values are there, which is 2, 7, and 3. And then we have the sign. The sign we have here is plus, and then we have the equal to sign, which satisfies the properties of an equation. So we are going to look for the value of x. We're going to look for the value of x. It's very simple. What we do here is this is 2x. Right, check very well. You observe that 2, the coefficient of x, this particular area here, only carries a variable, while the remaining ones here doesn't carry a variable. So what you do is you collect what we call like terms. What are like terms? Now you check very well. This is 2x, this is 7, and this is 3. So those ones that are not carrying x, you place them one side, and those ones with variable like x here, you also place them one side. So what you do is, this is 2x, and then you have equal to. So now in crossing over 7 to meet 3, it changes its sign from positive to negative. Assuming here is negative, when it crosses, it will automatically change to positive. Assuming here is just as it is positive, when it crosses this way, it will change to negative. So what that means is that I have 3 here. So this is plus 7. This is plus 7. So if I move plus 7 across this way here to meet this point, right? So what I'm going to have is, don't forget I said that if a sign crosses, like plus and minus majorly, if they crosses the equal to sign, they automatically change. If it is a plus that is crossing the equal to sign, it changes to a minus. If it is a minus that is crossing to the equal to sign, it changes to plus. Right? So obeying that concept here, this is plus and it is crossing. So here we have minus, and then we have this 7 here. We have this 7 here. All right. So this is what we have. And then if you do your calculation, it's 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is going to give you 4, minus 4 rather. It's minus 4 because this is a smaller value compared to 7. So by the time 3 subtracts 7, it's going to have a negative 4. So 3 minus 7 is a negative 4. And then our major focus here is to look for the value of x, making it stand alone. That's independent. So how you can do that is, you observe very well here, x still has a coefficient, right? And the coefficient of x here is 2. Is 2. Most of you will be asking what is a coefficient. Now, if I have 2y, 2 here becomes the coefficient of y, right? If I have 2z, 2 here becomes the coefficient of z. If I have 3t, 3 here becomes the coefficient of t. Just like that, all right? So that's what we mean then. Okay, so from this point here, what we are going to do to keep x on its own, make it stand on its own, we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 2. So we are going to divide both sides by 2, which is the coefficient of x. So if we do that, we are going to be having 2x over 2 equal to minus 4 over 2. All right, so by the time we do this, this 2 here will cancel out 2. We are left with x. And then we'll have a minus 4 over 2. Minus 4 over 2 will give you minus 2. Will give you minus 2. So it means that the value of x here is minus 2. We can call it negative 2. All right, so illustrating what we just explained about equation, now this is where it comes in. We are going to substitute the value of this x back to our initial equation. All right, so don't forget that this becomes our initial equation. This becomes our initial equation. And then we are going to substitute x, right, which becomes now minus 2. We are going to substitute it towards to this equation here. So we are going to substitute the value of x, to the, I'm going to substitute the value of x to the initial equation. And then if you substitute the value of x to the initial equation, it means that anywhere I see x here, I'm going to replace it with what? Minus 2. So if I do that, let's bring back our initial equation. I'll be having 2x here, then I have plus 7 equal to 3. Right, so this is our initial equation. So I'm going to be substituting minus 2 to this point where we have x. We are going to be having 2. Then in brackets, the value of x now becomes this minus 2. So this becomes minus 2. And I have plus 7 equal to 3. Right, so this is what we have. So 2 times minus 2 will give you minus 4 plus 7 equal to 3. Right? What we do now, this is our answer, but we are just trying to verify what I was saying initially. So this is minus 4 plus 7, 3, and then equal to 3. So you understand something. You understand something here. I said that an equation is a mathematical statement that tells you that two sides are equal. Right? So this is our left-hand side we had initially, and this is our our right-hand side rather. All right. So from this point, it's telling you that you having it as an equation, it is telling you that this point here, this expression here, is equal to this expression here. Right? It's telling you that this expression here is equal to this expression here, which you've proven to be true. So you observe that this expression here at the left-hand side is also giving us the same expression, the same value as that one in that left-hand side there. Right, sorry, right-hand side. So you observe that this is 3 and then this is 3. So from this point here, we have 3, and then it's assuming that this our left-hand side rather, it's now 3, which satisfies what? An equation. Which satisfies an equation. So this is verified, right? The definition is what? Is verified. All right, so under equation, we have various types of equation. We have different types of equation. So I can just come here and then I'll write types of equation. All right, so types of equation we have number one, the linear equation. Linear equation. Then we have the simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation. We have the quadratic equation. We have the polynomial equation. Right, so these are the various types of equation we have. We have the linear, simultaneous, quadratic, and the polynomial equation. All right, so we'll be taking each of these equations one after the other. So we'll be starting from the linear equation, right? So this is the linear equation. All right, so I'll just tell you the basic thing you need to know about the linear equation. One thing you should know about the linear equation is that it has a degree of 1. It has a degree of 1. All right, linear equation has a degree of 1. And then the linear equation is in the form of ax plus b equal to 0, or ax plus b equal to c plus cx plus d. Right, so this is how you can see the linear equation. Like the initial problem we solved earlier, which is 2x, is it 2x plus 7 equal to 3, is a linear equation. All right, is a linear equation. That's a very simple part of a linear equation. And then now we are going to be taking a complex problem about linear equation, and then we are going to be solving them. All right, let's assume we are having an example here, and then this question said we should solve the linear equation. Should solve the linear equation, and then the equation, the expression is we have 6x plus 2 equal to 2x plus 4. Right, so let's take this one. Let's just solve this quickly. So this is solution. We have an expression 6x plus 2 equal to 2x plus 4. Right, so let me just tell you something very important there. In exam case, if you see this kind of problem, what you need to do is you should know that at end of your exam, the left-hand side of your problem should be equal to the right-hand side after substitution, just like we did earlier, right? Just like we did earlier. So this is 6x. Let's bring back our question here. We have 6x plus 2 equal to 2x plus 4. Right, so this is a very simple problem to solve. Right, if you observe very well here, we have 6x here and we have 2x. We have 2 and we have 4. So what we are going to do now is we are going to collect like terms. We are going to collect like terms. So if we collect like terms, we are going to drop all the values carrying x in one side, and then we are going to drop all the values carrying no x in one side. So these are the values carrying x. 6 is carrying x, 2 is also carrying x. So I'm going to move 6 and then 2 to be in one side. And then if you check where 2 is carrying no x, and then 4 is also carrying no x. So we're going to shift it also to be in one side. So from here we have 6, we have 6x, right? So this 2x here will have to come this way and replace this one here. Why this one will have to go and replace this one here, right? So I told you earlier that if a positive sign crosses an equal to sign, it will change to minus. And if a minus crosses an equal to sign, it will change to plus, all right? To change to plus. So what that means is that, so if 2x here crosses, we're going to be having minus 2x. There is an invisible plus sign here, all right, showing that this expression is negative. This value is negative, all right? So it will be equal to, we have this plus 2 will cross. To cross here to change to minus 2, it will change from plus 2 now to minus 2. I have plus 4. And so this is the new expression we have. So the next target now is to look for the value of x from this expression. So 6 minus 2 will give us 4. I have 4x, right, equal to, this is minus 2 plus 4, which is going to give us 2. So if I look for the value of x, if I look for the value of x, I'm going to divide both sides. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. That's the coefficient of x. So if I divide both sides by 4, I'm going to be having 4x over 4 equal to 2 over 4, right? 2 over 4. So if that happens, I will be cancelling out this one. I'll be left here with x equal to, if 2 goes here, 1, 2 goes here, 2. So I'm going to be having 1 over 2 as the value of x. If you check very well, if you substitute 1 over 2 in this expression, you should be having the same value as that of the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Meaning that if I substitute the value of x, which is 1 over 2 here, the value you get from this point will also be the same thing with the one you get from this point. So you can try it out and tell me if it is true on the comment section. All right, so I'm going to take further problem. Let's take further problem to illustrate. Let's take another example. Solve the equation 2x plus 4 equal to 0. So this one is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. What we'll do here is put down our solution, bring back this question, 2x plus 4 equal to 0. So what we are going to do here is, so this is 2x and then this is 4. Don't forget, our major aim is to look for the value of the unknown, which is this. We want to know what x is. So what we are going to do here, we are going to move 4 to cross this equal to sign to meet this point here. All right, so we are going to be having 2x left here, and then when this one crosses, to change to what? To minus. So we are going to be having 0 minus what? Minus 4. This is what we have, right? This is what we have. And then if you do 2x, you know that 0 minus 4 will give us minus 4, right? So 0 minus 4 will give us minus 4. And then if I divide both sides by the coefficient of x here, if I divide both sides by the coefficient of x, I'll be having as divide both sides by 2, which is the coefficient of x. So if I do so, I'll be having 2x over 2 equal to minus 4 over 2, right? Minus 4 over 2. So 2 here will cancel out. I'll be left here with x. And then this is minus 2. So this is minus 4 rather. So minus 4 divided by 2 is going to give us minus 2, which is the answer of this. So if you observe, if you pull If you put minus 2 in this expression, you get 0, meaning that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. Okay, this is minus 2. If I put minus 2 here, you do 2 times minus 2 will give you minus 4. So minus 4 plus 4 is going to give you 0. All right, it's going to give you 0. If you find this video helpful, do well to subscribe, share, and comment. So cheers, and see you in the next video.